Kreuzberg traditionally is an area in Berlin where people are politically very aware, where people are critical towards existing systems, and where people are discussing and looking for alternatives to the existing systems. Therefore, Kreuzberg is actually a perfect ground for Bitcoin to arrive and to reach people and to convince them.
What attracts me to Bitcoin is the possibility to be in control of my own money and to transfer that money without anybody's say-so across the whole world in split minutes or seconds with zero fees.
Bitcoin really is the first global money we have. Bitcoin is something that could be from a science fiction novel, but we're having it today and not in 20 years.
Looking at the way the economy is going and the way that we're dealing with it, I don't really trust having my money in the banks. I think, maybe 2 years ago I might have felt less strongly about that, but after seeing what happened in Cyprus, I feel very strongly that we really can't trust the institutions that are around us.
I've used Bitcoin to buy a bunch of things. Honey from Thailand. I've bought some historic flags from the United States. Of course, I've bought my beer and my burgers here at the bar. I've bought gold and silver Bitcoin. I've bought a ticket for a concert next week in Berlin.
I first came across Bitcoins because two Spanish friends of mine who were very worried about the way the economy was going in Spain decided to invest their inheritance in Bitcoins. It was 30,000. They're not rich people, so I found that pretty shocking, and I thought it was a huge gamble. That was about 3.5 years ago now. Something like 30,000 has gone to 600,000, so they did very well.
We're working on establishing, as I believe, the world's first Bitcoin-based local economy, using Bitcoin as an alternative local currency with global reach, a Bitcoin neighborhood, as we call it.
I'm not that far familiar with Bitcoin so far. We just started 2 months ago to accept it. The advantages of the Bitcoin payment is that it's so easy, it's fast. I don't have to sit down on the computer and log myself into a bank account. Bitcoin scares people in suits, which I like. We're a punk rock brewery. Being able to go to Asia, America, South America, wherever you want to go, and being able to pay with one currency would be a nice thing for this world. Lots of bankers would get bankrupt.
I decided to accept Bitcoins because it's an easy way of digital payments, and it does not mean that I have to pay others a certain percentage of my money, more or less, in order to get the money on my account. It is interesting to see that there is not a specific typical Bitcoin payer. It's random people. So I don't think there's a prototype Bitcoin payer. It's not only nerds, let me put it that way.
Ich kann mich gut an meinen ersten Bitcoin-Verkauf erinnern. Das war eine Tom Waits, die Big Time. Daran kann ich mich erinnern, weil ich bei der Kaufabwicklung selbst ein bisschen Probleme hatte und es nicht sofort geklappt hat. Und das zweite Album war ein Beatles-Album, eine Beatles-Compilation von 1967.
Gibt es eine sehr beliebte Band aus Kreuzberg?
Belamid, das ist eine alte Kreuzberger Band.
Kreuzberg ist ein politisches Zentrum für Proteste, sei es gegen Gentrifizierung heute, als auch in den 70ern im Rahmen der Instandbesetzerszene und zeichnet sich durch ein kritisches, linkes politisches Bewusstsein aus. Und die Bitcoin-immanente Systemkritik bettet sich in dieses politische Bewusstsein im Grunde ein. Und deswegen denke ich, wird es erfolgreich hier.
On Wednesday, online services and exchanges dealing with Bitcoin did come under sustained cyber attacks. Now, it led to the value of Bitcoin to drop by almost 20%.
Yeah, the crash is extremely interesting because it really highlights how different Bitcoin is from a standard currency.
The speculation part of Bitcoin has been over-reported in the news. We have now come back to the levels that were deemed high in the past couple of months, so I think we've returned to the normal price or even slightly above that, but the underlying value is still there.
Bitcoin to me represents an opportunity to transform the way that we deal with the flows of wealth and human energy. I would look at these spikes and corrections really as the birth pangs of an entirely new system.
I'm gonna pay my bill now. It is 10 euros. I pop up the code. I scan it. I press send. And ka-ching!
There are certain reasons that could make one believe that there are flaws to our current economic and financial system, to which Bitcoin or something like Bitcoin could be the solution. So every day we do not start using a free currency like Bitcoin, we actually actively vote for the current system to continue.